Hey everyone, welcome to this week's edition of the Maconi Setup Shop NIS Fix tutorial. Today we are covering Kansas because it is week 13 and there is no A fixed. We're doing this video to help anybody who is racing for NIS this week. Uh, Again, we are at Kansas, so this track presents a lot of unique opportunities to race on. In my opinion, it's probably the most dynamic track surface that we have, which is great for all you guys this week because this will allow you to have a lot of fun on a track like Kansas. It's got progressive banking throughout the turns, and there's quite a bit of grip in each lane. But we're going to go over how to run everywhere on the racetrack and what I think is going to be the most valuable for you to save tires and be fast. The bottom of the racetrack, I still think, is the best way to save tires. You are going to have a little more wheel input, so just be careful that you're not overturning the race car. You don't want to be scrubbing the right front too much, putting a lot of load on it because you're just going to wear it out. So it's important to know that if you are going to run the bottom, try to be a little more patient than you would be running the top. That way you're not carrying a whole lot of speed through the center of the corner and cranking a whole bunch of wheel into the right front so you can keep some of that heat out. It's not the fastest to start, obviously, especially on cold tires, but strategically, it's a great line to run to save tires, and later in the run, it's a great line to make passes on because if everybody's running the top, two factors. One, dirty air is going to cause people to run slower in the corner, and two, you're going to have checkups. If you got a train of cars running the top, eventually they're going to start checking up. So if you're running the bottom, you could leapfrog a few positions and find a hole and slide up in. The middle of the racetrack here at Kansas is, we call it the sucker hole. It's not the most ideal place you want to be, but if you're mid-pack or even if you're racing in like six, for example, and you have cars that are running in the top and the bottom, the middle is a good place to run only for clean air. That way you're not going to have the dirty air effect make you tight and crank a whole bunch of wheel into it. So if you see another car running the middle, unless he's way ahead of you, try to avoid it. But if you're in a race situation and you have cars top and bottom, the middle is a good place to go just to keep clean air on the nose. It's not used a whole lot. Um, if you're three wide in the middle here, you're gonna have the side of force of both the inside car and the outside car, and it's gonna make you really tight. Okay, so that's why the middle's kind of avoided. If it's open and you're trying to use it for clean air, it's a great line to run. Otherwise, top and bottom are usually your two preferred lanes, which brings me to our last lane, the top. This is where you're going to carry all of your momentum down the straightaways. It is slower entry to center, so be careful if somebody's close enough to you. If they try to throw a slide job, they will complete it and pass you, but they're going to be really slow in the center, so you'll be able to cross them over. But as you can see on the lap times, like we switched to the top and already almost 2/10 faster than the laps that we ran on the bottom. That's more early run. As the tires wear and dirty air is, killer, uh, both lines even out. So it depends on how you manage your tires. These last couple laps, we're going to go in cars. You can get a reference for the bottom and the top. Okay, guys, one last thing I want to touch on. Uh, when you're running the bottom, it's very important that you get down to the white line. That's where the grip is down there. Just to make it easier, you're not going to have to crank a whole bunch of wheel in it because if you're half a car width off of that line, it's going to feel a little more snug. So the closer you get to that white line, the better it's going to feel. Also, Kansas is a very unique racetrack because it is very momentum based, but you really have to balance that aggression between how hard do you push versus managing your tires. Again, being a fixed race, it's all about having better tire wear. Anything you can do to make your tires last for the long run is going to pay off for you unless it's a sprint. If it's a caution fest, obviously you're just going to be trying to drive as hard as you can. But please keep in the back of your mind that you're trying to make your tires last, right? So just nice and smooth on the start will give you a great long run car at the end. Okay, that'll do it for this week's video. If you found that this was helpful, please consider leaving a like. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you can see these videos every Monday. We'll be back next week for the A-Fix tutorials, so be sure to tune in. All right, best of luck this week, guys, and we'll see you out on the track.